Hello and welcome to the news on the hour on ACNNTV. Here are the stories we are tracking right now. The Most Reverend Dr. Michael Fakbe asserts that Christ has redeemed Christians from the curse of the law, which might have held man from receiving the promise of the Spirit through faith. Youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria says that recent upheaval in the country, which trade the EndSARS protest, is not religiously motivated, contrary to some opinions. Plus, Nigerian Citizens Association in South Africa, NICASA, underscores the need for Nigeria and other African countries to adopt the U.S. voting system in elections to promote democratic growth. And now the news in details. We begin with words of admonition as the Archbishop of Lagos Province and the Bishop of Remo Diocese, His Grace, the Most Reverend Dr. Michael Fakbe, has stated that the blessing of Abraham has its fulfillment in Jesus Christ, as it is written, saying that Christ has redeemed Christians from the curse of the law, that they might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. The Archbishop therefore noted that Christians ought to be enjoying blessings in Jesus Christ. The cleric stated this in his weekly broadcast.
When we are talking of the blessings of Abraham, this actually finds even fulfillment in Jesus Christ. As we read it from Galatians chapter 3 and verse 13, the scripture says, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having become a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is everyone who hangs on a tree, that the blessing of Abraham might come upon the Gentiles in Christ Jesus. In other words, you and I, Gentiles, as it were, but we are children of God today by the reason of the annulment of the curse that has been brought upon humanity through the death of Christ on the cross at Calvary. Therefore, as you go on into this particular month of November, I am reassuring you that the foundation of the blessings of God that you are supposed to enjoy as a child of God, and I want to tell you, is in Jesus Christ. Therefore, be encouraged that Jesus Christ is the foundation of your blessing. Yes, he has already chosen to bless you, and he has blessed you. And I want you to be excited. So as you move on in the month of November, the grace of God will be sufficient unto you.
We cross over to Rivers State now. The Diocese of Evo Anglican Communion has inducted Sir Barrister Nlerum Amadi as the new Chancellor for the diocese and has also installed 48 new Knights of St. Christopher. There was also the installation of 7 canons, ordination of 3 priests and 7 deacons, as well as the unveiling of a book, Diocese of Evo at 10, Memories, Milestones and Monuments. The event was held at All Saints Cathedral, Obio, Rivers State. A cleric from the Diocese of Niger, Delta North, the Venerable Dr. Chimela Samuel, during his sermon, centered on selfless service to God and humanity through the ministry of Jesus Christ, urged all Christians to be role models in the society. He also spoke extensively on the role of knights in the church, describing them as soldiers of Christ, defenders of the faith, urging the new knights to see themselves as privileged to be enlisted in the Lord's army. While the new canons, priests and deacons were admonished to be good examples that can attract people to Christ, and therefore be humble and true servants of the Lord. Meanwhile, the diocesan bishop, the Right Reverend Innocent Uchechukwu Odu, also used the occasion to give diocesan service awards to individuals that worked very hard to uphold the Diocese of Evo in its first 10 years. From Rivers to Enugu State, the Nsukka Diocese of the Anglican Church of Nigeria has held their annual diocesan synod with the theme, A Call for Intentional Discipleship, where the bishop, the Right Reverend Aloysius Agbo, wrote that his intention to bring back and establish conscious evangelism and discipleship, which have an indelible impact on the society. During his presidential address at St. Bartholomew's Anglican Church in Ama Achala, Enugu Ezike, Enugu State, Bishop stated categorically that discipleship was the mandate given to believers by Christ himself.
Christ has given the Great Commission to every individual and each local church, and And we must all devote ourselves to intentional disciple making as the key to the transformation of lives that will impact our society and generation with the gospel. Focusing on intentional discipleship making is critical because in many places where the church seems to be growing, there is low impact in the society.
As part of his effort to set up intentional discipleship, the Lord Bishop handed an invitation to the General Manager of ACNNTV, Engineer Korede Acnn, today to speak on intentional discipleship through digital technology. And afterwards, while speaking with ACNNTV, the Synod Committee Chairman, Sir Dr. Emnike Onwura, agreed with the Bishop on the theme of this year's Synod, saying it points to the basis of the Christian faith.
There must be an intentional way of carrying Jesus Christ on the internet. Jesus told us in Matthew 28 that he has given us the authority to accomplish all these things in his name, and we are to go to make disciples for all nations. In this age, digital ministry is the key to achieving this. We cannot run away from this fact. Only technology can connect you from the corner of your room to the rest of the world within the shortest time.
I mean, that is the basis of our faith. You know, just like Jesus Christ brought others, discipled them to be able to disciple others, it's also become our own responsibility to also disciple others. My bishop expounded it quite succinctly.
On NSA's protest, the youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria has said that the recent upheaval in the country, which trade the NSA's protest, is not religiously motivated, contrary to some opinions. Fielding questions from journalists at the National Ecumenical Center in Abuja, Apostle Neme Andy, president of the body, said that the protest is not religious, neither is it ethnicity biased. Apostle Andy, who started the association's position on the NSA saga, called on the public to shun violence and follow peace. Andy also commended the federal and state governments for the swift way they responded to the situation, stated that nation building is a collective task of all Nigerians, irrespective of their tribe, religion, or political affiliations. While reacting to the level of damage done by the violence, Andy sympathized with those who suffered those losses, especially those who lost their lives, praying that their souls will find rest. He admonished members of the police force not to lose focus during this period, as the good cops are more than those who were not. Similarly, and he called on the Muslim counterpart body, the National Council of Muslim Youth Organization, to sit down with their respective state governors and deliberate on steps that will ensure lasting peace in the nation. And coming up on ACNN News, Saliba decides to leave Arsenal after Arteta's snub. We'll bring you the details of the story and many more after this break. Please stay tuned.
The province of the Niger Anglican Communion presents Anambra Anglican Prayer Rally 2020. The Archbishop, bishops, and the Anglican faithful in the province of the Niger cordially invite you to the Anglican Prayer Rally 2020. Theme: We are more than conquerors. Romans chapter 8 verse 37. Date: Saturday 7th November 2020. Time: 10 a.m. Venue: Dr. Alex Ekweme Square, Oka. Special guest of honor: Chief Dr. Willie Obiano, Akpokwedike Global, Governor, Anambra State. Ministering: Right Reverend Ndubi COB, Bishop, Diocese of Nnewi. Host: all the bishops, province of the Niger Anglican Communion. Chief host: His Grace the Most Reverend Dr. Alexander Ibezim, Archbishop, province of the Niger, and Bishop of Oka Diocese. Come, let us thank God for keeping us through the COVID-19 era and pray for His grace to protect and preserve us from the after effect of the pandemic. Announcer: Right Reverend Ndubi COB, Chairman, Planning Committee. Sir Chinedu Ike Esquire, Coordinator, Anambra Anglican Prayer Rally 2020. Jesus is Lord.
Thank you for staying tuned. If you are just joining us, you're watching the news on the hour. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or our social media platforms on facebook.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the VM Africa app from Android and iOS stores. And you can also advertise your goods and services on ACNNTV. On national news, the federal government of Nigeria has said that it's seeking a loan of $1.2 billion from Brazil to finance agricultural programs in the 2021 budget. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, made this known during a meeting with the House of Representatives Committee on Finance in Abuja. Ahmed said that a request has been sent to the National Assembly to approve the loan from the Brazilian government. She said the loan will be used to address issues in agriculture, adding that 100,000 hectares of land will be acquired in each state for food production. The federal government has commenced a process to reduce the number of international organizations Nigeria belongs to. Foreign Affairs Minister Godfrey Oyema gave the hint in Abuja. The senior official spoke while defending the ministry's 2021 budget at the House of Representatives. Oyema disclosed that the ministry faces the challenge of meeting its contribution to those organizations. Decrying the poor funding of the ministry, he said the movement of officers, ambassadors and their families was a major problem. He said currently that 1.6 billion naira is required for the movement of ambassadors, while officers will require 3.7 billion naira. Oyema told the lawmakers that the inadequate overhead financial provisions to Nigerian missions must be addressed. On electronic voting, the Nigerian Citizens Association in South Africa, NICASA, has underscored the need for Nigeria and other African countries to adopt the U.S. voting system in elections to promote democratic growth. The president of NICASA, Mr. Ben Okoli, made this known in a telephone interview with the news agency of Nigeria, ACNN, in Abuja. Okoli commended the use of technology in the U.S. voting system, noting that it had contributed to electoral efficiency in that country. According to him, the federal government can equally learn from such experience to achieve the much-desired goals for its seemingly hopeful democracy. He said that the American election was a game-changer that would define the future of the world, from politics and economy to foreign relations and the stability of the world peace. Okoli said this election will also define the interest and fight against coronavirus with China and Russia in the bull's eyes. And now away from Nigeria, a new report has exposed the atrocities done in North Korea against Christians arrested for their faith, including forced abortions, the murder of newborn babies, and death by execution for possessing a Bible. The London-based Korea Future Initiative published its latest report, Persecuting Faith, documenting religious freedom violations in North Korea, which includes information from 117 interviews with those exiled from the isolated country. The investigation documents 273 victims of religious freedom violations, ranging in age from just 3 years old to over 80 years old. Though adherents of various religions are held in North Korea's re-education camps, the harshest punishments are reserved for Christians. According to the report, more than 200 Christians were identified as victims punished for crimes, including religious practice, religious activities in China, possessing religious items, contact with religious persons, attending a place of worship, and sharing religious beliefs. And moving on to sports, Arsenal defender William Saliba has been reported not to be happy with his situation at the club and now wants to leave in January. Saliba, 19, was signed in a £27 million deal from St. Etienne, but after joining up with Mikel Arteta's squad in the summer, he's yet to make his competitive debut. Arsenal was willing to loan Saliba to a championship club for the rest of the season, but the move has failed to materialize. The teenager is, however, playing regularly for Arsenal's under-23s, with Arteta of the opinion the defender is a long way off a regular first-team role. Saliba's chances of playing time were reduced even further last month, when Arteta left him out of the Europa League squad. He's open to the idea of returning to St. Etienne, having spent last season on loan at his boyhood club before moving to Arsenal. And still on EPL, former Chelsea star Jason Conde has warned Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that defeat against Everton this weekend could see him sacked. Solskjaer is under pressure at Old Trafford after losing 3 home fixtures in 4. This leaves United in the bottom 6 of the table. Pondi has claimed that a defeat ahead of the imminent international break could push the United board into sacking Solskjaer. You're still watching the news on the hour. A reminder of our major stories. The Most Reverend Dr. Michael Fakbe assessed that Christ has redeemed Christians from the curse of the law, which might have held man from receiving the promise of the Spirit through faith. Youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria says that recent upheaval in the country, which trade the NC's protest, is not religiously motivated, contrary to some opinions. Plus, Nigerian Citizens Association in South Africa, NICASA, underscores the need for Nigeria and other African countries to adopt the U.S. voting systems in elections to promote democratic growth. And so that's all we have time for today on the News on the Hour. I want to thank you so much for watching. I am Phoebe Aguireyu. God bless you.